So, Larry, as a recent graduate of Rhode Island College, and according to your, I think, traffic director extraordinaire, Larry Cunningham, is that a proper way to introduce you?
I believe it is. Of course, the gentleman behind the camera is my worthy successor, Tom Lima. I hope I paved the way for him as traffic director.
So, as a recent graduate, how many years were you a part of the station?
I was actually a part of the station altogether for about 5 years. I still am currently affiliated with it as an alum. I still do co-host a sports talk show on occasion, but actually better part of 5 years, I was a Rhode Island College proud member of wxin.
What can you say? Like, do you have any stories you want to tell? You got to tell a good story, and I don't want everyone knows the eggnog, but get something that can top the eggnog.
Well, if I really were to tell the story that could top the eggnog, then we'd be crossing into NC-17 territory, so I won't go quite that far. But I just had so many great memories from wxin. I met so many great people. Of course, CMJ conference went 2 years in a row. I actually had the privilege to meet none other than George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic, the funk legend himself, as a member of wxin. Following year I went and got involved in some shenanigans and actually got blacklisted from a bar known as the House of Brews. So those of you that were there, you remember that story vividly. But needless to say, there was never a dull moment at wxin. This is really an awesome thing. I have already met several people that I had never met before that were a big part of the station. I've reunited with some of my old kin from wxin, and this is really just an awesome thing to bring everyone together. If you were part of Rhode Island College at all, hopefully you at least cross paths with somebody from wxin, because there's no experience quite like it. It really has shaped me as a college graduate, and I don't think I'll ever forget my time at wxin.
So I'm now joined with former program director and alt-rock director, just Dennis. Is that like a Prince thing?
No, my name's Dennis.
Just Dennis?
Rosano.
There you go.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, it just looks like Prince. So your full name?
Well, I did like a couple multiple positions, so my last full Guido Italian last name wouldn't fit in there, so I had to put my both positions on there.
So how long were you a member of the station?
I started in 2004. I had a show called The Rock Slot. I don't know. It sounded good at the time. And then I ended in 2009.
So 5 years, better part of 5 years.
Yeah, more or less. I was on the 4.5. I actually was on the 5-year plan. I beat that by a half a semester. Haha, Rick, yeah. So, yeah.
So you started in 2004.
Yeah.
Was there another man that's still part of the station that was with you at the time?
Nick Lima.
Do you have any advice you want to give him on to get out of here?
Yeah, Lima, get the hell out of here. Come on. Dude, you started with me in 2004 when you were an actual freshman in your actual first year. Then you were a freshman, what, 4 years later?
I believe credit-wise, he's still a freshman.
That doesn't surprise me. But Lima, get the hell out of here. Come on, what the hell? But, yeah, I mean, who else in 2004? 2004, I also started with a couple of McKennas. I know there was 3 of them that worked here before. Some of the old people. Actually, I think Elov was still here, too. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. But, yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the event tonight?
Yeah, probably Doyle, too, yeah. Well, the event here is cool tonight. It's nice to catch up on everyone. Some people who are not here, and I'm glad that they're not here. One woman in particular, which I'm not going to say. Anyways, but it's great to see everyone here tonight. We're going to have a blast. I probably will take my shirt off. And if you're lucky, I might have my way with you.
Thank you.
All right.
So I'm now joined with one of probably the more famous wxin alums, Mike Montecalvo. How have you been since graduating?
How have I been? Let's see, I got married, 2 kids. No, it's been great. It's just, I come back to Rhode Island College every couple of years for career days, but I've never gotten to see the new radio station, so I'm looking forward to it.
As a former GM, what has your experience as a GM and a member of the station done for you in your career moving forward?
Oh, it did a lot. When I came here, I was only supposed to come here for a year. Then I was supposed to go to Providence College to study to be a lawyer. So obviously that didn't work out. And as soon as I came on campus, the first organization I joined was WRIC at the time. and I became a disc jockey. You had to train for 3 months before you could go on the air. So I trained for 3 or 4 months, and then I got my own show. And then from there, I got my first radio job, which was a little radio station in Woonsocket. And from there, I'm at Channel 12 now, but I never would have gotten that job if it wasn't for the radio station, because I got all my experience there.
Do you have like any stories or memories between any alumni that you want us to talk about, like any good times?
Yeah, you know, we did a lot. We were the first group that actually started broadcasting intramural hockey games. It was it was street hockey games. Basically, it was in the old Whipple gym, which I guess you can't. It's not the same anymore. And people thought we were crazy to actually broadcast intramural hockey games on there. So that was a lot of fun. I'm still friends with a lot of the people I went to school with. I mean, it's, you know, shared friendships, which I think is the best part. We had a lot of fun. We played rock and roll music. We hosted a lot of parties. I broke both feet hosting the Rocky Horror Picture Show, by the way, in Donovan Dining Center. So that was part of the radio station. So
just for like a time reference, what years were you a part of the station from?
80 to 84. I was sales manager in my sophomore year, and then I was general manager my junior and senior years.
So around that time, as another reason why we're here, the dedication for Michael Gonzalez, do you have it as during that same time he was here?
Yeah.
Do you have any stories about him, about his personality?
Well, he and I obviously were classmates. He might have stuck around another year or two after me, but he was my age. But I get to see Mike every summer because he played in the same softball league that I played in every year, and he always played on the other team. So it was one of those things that we really didn't get along while the game was going on. But Mike back then always kept pushing for the fact that he wanted to do a heavy metal radio show, and he kept coming to me all the time saying, "Oh, I think this would be a great idea," and we let him do it. And obviously, really, that was his trademark, and he's missed, but not forgotten.
Anything else you just want to say about this event tonight?
That's just a great idea. You guys should do this more often. You bump into people that went to school, you know, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and then with, you know, the kids that are today. So I think it's a great idea.
Thank you so much.
Okay, nice meeting you.
I'm here with Vinny Quinterno. What year did you graduate, and how long were you part of the station?
Well, I think I graduated in 1983 or 1984, somewhere around there. I don't know. It was all a blur to me back then. Once you get older, you know, everything becomes a blur. Wow, I was a part of the radio station when I transferred in here from Florida. As soon as I transferred in, I hooked up with a bunch of these guys. One of the best things I ever did in my life.
Do you have like any stories from back then you want to tell? Like anything funny out there? Like you gotta have some good stories.
Well, I used to be able to drink here on campus, and a lot of my stories, they're X-rated, so I really can't say so. But no.
Turn off the camera.
No. No, it's unfair because the other people I talk about are not here, so I want them to give them their side of the story. But no, actually, it's a great environment. It's a great opportunity to come here and go to school and meet a lot of my friends. It brought me to where I am today, and it's a great. But the college campus is at that time there, it was such a community. The people in the radio station, we got together, we did a lot of things together, and one was playing hockey, intramural hockey. And again, as Mike said earlier, we won the championship, so it was really good.
Is anything like from what does your experience here at XAN and or WRIC at the time, what has that done for you, like to further your career? Like what lessons can you take from being a part of this club with you? Like did you take with you on your life?
Well, one thing, I can do anything I want to do, in the fact that there's nothing I can't do if you put your mind to it. The first time you sit behind a mic, you think to yourself, oh my God, but then you're saying to yourself, you know, they can't see me, thank God, and they have no idea what I'm doing. So I just speak my mind. It worked out really well.
This is 90.7 wxin FM Providence, Rhode Island College Radio.
Radio.
So you're having a party and you need music. Well, that old mixed CD in your parents' stereo just isn't gonna cut it. What you need is some good old kick-ass music. WXIN has thousands of songs, a professional staff, and enough wattage that your neighbors will have to call the national.
I've listened. I'm very proud. Most softball games, we did every basketball game in the winter. So we've expanded quite a bit.
The WXIN DJ service. Have tunes, well traveled.
It's not the size that matters, it's the pleasure it provides. WXIN FM.
So Dominic.
Hello.
How long have you been removed from the station?
Last 4 years.
So So what have you been doing since graduating and moving on from XIN?
Just working, hanging in there, working for the man.
The big question I've been asking everyone is, I want to hear some stories. And this is only going on the website, so this is all XIN. I want to hear a good XIN story.
There's just so many. I mean, where do I begin? One of the most memorable moments I can remember is leaving an XIN party, returning to the station at 1 or 2 in the morning, and going live on the air. And we'll just leave it at that. Hopefully no one was listening at 2 in the morning.
Do not trust this guy with your daughters. He will do
That's not in Rhode Island and only in Connecticut.
So, with that, out of everyone here, is there anyone like you would wish that was here that it hasn't shown up yet?
I don't see Dave Doyle. I would like to see Dave Doyle.
Anyone else?
Tom Remington?
Anyone you're sad to see here?
Not really. You?
Understandable. Nick Lima?
Lima's here?
Somewhere.
There was a guy who looked like Lehman at the food table, kind of just shoveling it in there, but I don't think it was him. I mean, there's so many people, so many witnesses.
And there's no mozzarella sticks.
And there's no mozzarella sticks. So clearly he wasn't on the board for food.
What can you say about the station? Like, have you taken with you on past your Rhode Island College experience?
Working with a team, very important. And if you can work with the team, which almost becomes like a family, it really helps you later on down the line when you have to work in a larger office or larger business and you work with a lot more people. Really establishes teamwork.
Is there anything else you want to say to the camera?
That's about it. Party on.
All right, thank you.
It's raw and it hurts when I pee. It must be Nixon Radio.
The Nixon story? So I'm the professional advisor, unpaid, it's just, whatever. And I'm sitting in the promotions office. I had come over from HJJ at the time. I had come over in the afternoon, and I was talking to Mike McKenna. We were going back and forth about what we were going to do with the second stream. We wanted to, at that point, XM was kind of in its heyday and that sort of thing. And so we decided that we were going to do the uncensored thing. Well, what the hell do you call it, right? And we're sitting there, and you guys had these oval stickers, okay? Like, you see on the back of cars now, right? WXIN, right? And I flipped it, and we were going back and forth trying to figure out what the hell to call it, and it was just like people were just coming up with things. I think Levi may have been in the room at the time, and I happened to flip it over, and I was like, I was like, why don't we call it Nixon?
Hey, this has got to be good. It's got terms and conditions. Nixon!
And I was being completely facetious. I was, there was no seriousness whatsoever in this. McKenna looked at me and was like, Nixon? Yeah, okay.
Is Chris Bonanno in the room?
Bonanno may have been in the room as
because
well.
Bonanno will claim to anybody that he's the one that invented the Nixon.
No. He may have been in the room. You know what? I'll give him credit for actually maybe implementing it. But I flipped it over and it was just like. But again, it was a goofy thing. It wasn't anything that was supposed to be. It wasn't.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story. Nixon.
Nixon started, or at least got named.
I have a small prosciutto. Nixon.
So I'm here joined with two members of Kappa Delta Phi, who actually were in the same pledge class of Michael Gonzalez. Any stories you want to say from that experience about him?
Straight up guy, awesome, and always under control.
He wasn't in my pledge class, but he was a little bit after me. We went to high school together, so I took it easy on him.
As from the brotherhood of a fraternity, and were any of you guys part of the station as well, or know any?
I worked at the station with Mike. He used to be right up here in this corner of the student union.
What can you say? How have you been on the new tour yet?
I haven't been on the tour yet, but I like what I see. I saw that the TV station is now in view instead of tucked out behind the library. Even having the radio station in view is great because we were kind of secluded up here and not everybody knew where we were,
Is there anything like stories or any good stories from back in your XIN days or even in your Kappa days that you can tell?
He was an unbelievable street hockey softball player. I have to admit that he was awesome on the softball field, and he was also
he could hit the ball better than all the big guys. He was incredible.
He was on my softball team for 4 years. And one other thing was his class, our fraternity class, was the Little Rascals. And he was actually the mightiest of the Little Rascals. Awesome. This dude was the balls. That's it.
You couldn't stump him with a music question, and you couldn't stump him with a sports question. He was a statistics guy. He missed his calling. That was going to be his next dream, get into sports when he wasn't pretty enough to be Dr. Metal.
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
So I'm not joined with John, or as everyone calls him, Cannibal.
Cannibal, yeah.
How long were you at the station for?
I was there from about 92 to 96, about 96.
How was your time there?
Absolutely, the best thing I did at Rhode Island College was wxin. It was wonderful. Think about it all the time.
May I ask, what are you doing now? Like after, what's your current career?
Sure. As with almost everyone that went to XIN, we all did this sort of communications route. I'm a teacher now, not a public school teacher, but I'm a teacher at a Mohegan Sun casino. I teach people how to be nice to other humans.
That's good.
Yeah.
From your experience at XIN, has that helped you for your current career? Has your experiences you learned in XIN helped you with what you're doing now?
Oh, absolutely. When I was at XIN, I was a general manager for 2 years, so I ended up dealing a lot with the student community government and also with the faculty, and doing that taught me a lot about the interactions within an organization and how to get what you need, not always what you want, but to definitely get what you need. So
now let's just go back all the way and think of some. Do you have any good stories you gotta have? Everyone's been telling us some good ones. I want to see if you, as a former GM, gotta have something.
Sure. There's a couple of good ones. You see that gentleman right over there? His name is Heartless Jim. I was in the studio one day when Heartless was watching DJ Venom, who's probably one of the biggest DJs in America right now. Venom was spinning, and he had put on an instrumental track, and it was like a 19-minute version of the song, and he was freaking out because he didn't know what to do. Jim walks into the studio, takes the other version of the record, puts it on. 2 seconds later, beat matches it, walks out. Venom's just standing there going. It was amazing, and literally, that's one of the best DJs in the world right now, so it's pretty cool.
And right now, I'd like to introduce our General Manager, Nicholas Lima. But before I like to do that, I'd like to give a shout out to one man that we all know. He's in attendance tonight. He really means a lot and to everybody, and everybody knows his name, not only here, but on the state of Rhode Island, Heartless Jim. All right, thank you very much, Nate Briss. Nate, take over as our Director of Alumni Affairs for the radio station, a new position that we created this year because we know about the history of this radio station. Most of the people coming into this radio station on a day-to-day basis, though, our new DJs don't know about that history, don't know about our proud past, and it's been our mission the last few weeks to try and make them all know that, because our radio station has a lot to be proud of. Going back to when this got started in 1979, first went on the air in 1980, Rhode Island College Radio has touched the lives of hundreds, probably thousands of people over that time. I'm glad so many of you will be able to come out tonight to celebrate Rhode Island College Radio. We've got a full schedule over the next 25 minutes or so. Won't keep you here too long. Just a couple people that want to say a few words about WXIN. And we also have a tribute to Michael J. Gonsalves, class of 1986. It was Dr. Metal. We'll be naming our record library downstairs in the media center in his honor at the conclusion of tonight's event. So once we get the speaking program out of the way, you're all invited to come down and take a look at the new studio if you haven't already, and the radio station as a whole. The anchor's down there. We'll get it all cleaned up for you. Trust me, it's not going to look that same way on Monday morning. But I want to take an opportunity to thank some people who made this happen. None of this would have happened without the hard work of not only Nate Grist, who helped us get the alumni contact sheets updated, and also the Office of Alumni Affairs and Shauna Merrill, but also the administration of Rhode Island College, and also another new position that we created this year at WXIN, the assistant to the general manager, a position that we had some extra funding basically, so we said, we'll pay somebody else. And both people that have held that position this year, Lisa DJ LV Bradley and Jack Waffle, call him Waffles, have held that position, and they were the ones that planned this event. They're the ones that put it all together. And without Lisa Bradley, Jack Waffle, Nate Chris, and our entire station staff, none of this would have happened tonight. So I'd like to give them all a round of applause. How's that food out there tonight? I think I ate a whole tray of beef Wellington myself. I want to thank Vincent Fleming. I want to thank Vincent Fleming, Arthur Patry, the entire Donovan Dining Center staff for all the work they did to make this event special. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. So most people, even people who are very active at the station, don't even know that Vinnie Fleming is the advisor to WXIN, director of the Dining Center. He's been Rhode Island College Radio's advisor for 28 years now. And he's been an outstanding advisor, and he's really helped guide the station over the course of that time. So thank you, Vinnie Fleming, too. Without further ado, I'd like to get this evening rolling. So our first speaker this evening is lead anchor on Channel 12 WPRI, two-time general manager of WXIN, Rhode Island College Radio, Rhode Island College alumni, Mike Montecalvo.
This is Mike Montecalvo, General Manager of WRIC Radio. For the past several years, WRIC Radio has been working towards an FM license. We have received an unofficial communication from the FCC that our license was accepted, pending an agreement with Channel 6. We need to work out an agreement with Channel 6 because we would like to locate our antenna with theirs. Our license has not been accepted yet, as printed in the November 23rd anchor. It is an unofficial communication from the FCC. Once our license has officially been accepted, we will inform the Rhode Island College community. Thank you.
What happened? Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Montecalvo.
It's really scary what they can find down here. That was 1983, probably. So, thank you very much. Actually, Dr. Penfield and I were talking about that. We had countless meetings. We were hoping to be FM. We were WRIC at the time, and we were hoping to be FM, and we had countless meetings with Channel 6, and we were always this close with Channel 6 to becoming FM, and then we never accomplished it. So that's when I went to work for Channel 12. There's no way I'll go to work for Channel 6. It's great to be here. It's unbelievable that so much time has gone by. I see Jerry Audette. When I was here in 1980, by the way, I was only supposed to come here for 1 year. I made a promise to my father that, all right, I'll go to Rick for a year, and then I'll go to Providence College and be a lawyer and all that kind of stuff. And I joined WRIC the first day on campus, and one of the first people I met was Jerry Audette. And for 3 months, he trained me to be a disc jockey, and I finally got my show in January. And one of the first shows, at that time we were playing records, by the way. And you had to go into the record library. And I found a Barry Manilow record and a Michael Johnson record. And the record was bluer than blue. You probably don't even know who Michael Johnson was. Well, you still have it? Well, two people were really upset with me. One was Dave Zapatka, who was the general manager of the radio station. But Dave Place was the program director, and he came running from his dorm into the studio and started asking me why in the world I would play Barry Manilow and Michael Johnson. And I said, I found it in the record library. He goes, why would you play that? I go, I don't know, I like Barry Manilow. Because we're a rock station, don't ever do that again. I was interviewed earlier, and they said, what kind of an impact did the radio station have? It really had an entire impact on my career when you really think about it. You know, I started here in January of '81 for my first show, and after 2 weeks of being on WRIC, I went to WNRI in Woonsocket and told the general manager there that he had to hire me because I was from Woonsocket. I had my own radio show at Rhode Island College. And he said, would you work for minimum wage? I said, yes. He goes, would you clean the bathrooms and vacuum the floors? I said, yes. And I got the job. And there's no way I would have, and I lasted here 4 years. I was general manager the last 2 years. And I never would have made it to, you know, WRX, B101, HJY, working with Paul and Al and Don Imus, and then eventually to Channel 12, if it wasn't for Rhode Island College. This was an absolutely great radio station, and if you look at all the names of all the people who graduated from here, and that made it big. So I'm happy to be here. This is a great place. It's always have a special place in my heart. And every once in a while, Dave, I do play Barry Manilow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike Montecavo, for joining us again here tonight. Of course, wxin always has underwriting. We always have some sort of sponsorship. I'd like to give you a word now from our sponsors. Elo?
You're listening to the WXIN Top 10 Countdown with your host, Joe Brody. Heard exclusively every Friday on the new 90.7 FM.
Many contestants of the wxin Bathing Contest, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you glaring at me on stage at the living room.
This contest is brought to you by those perverts at WXIN. Yes, we really do approve of such things.
Thanks, DJ Elo. Our next speaker is also a two-time general manager of WXIN in the 1990s. That was quite a decade. I grew up then, I don't know. I was not going to Rhode Island College then, though. I started here in '04. I'll finish sometime in 2024. Our next guest is Ben Mazzini.
Wow. This place has changed a lot since I've been here. All the old crew here sitting in the first couple of rows. It's great seeing you guys again. You know, I stepped back into the new studio when was the Radiothon? The Haiti, was it Haiti Radiothon? Haiti Radiothon, yeah. And I'll tell you, the difference between then and now. You guys have everything. Really, I mean, you guys have more gear than most of the professional radio stations that I've walked into around here. We had nothing. I think we were transmitting off of a piece of wire somewhere in this building. And you know, I was talking to a couple of you guys and talking to Ted, and we were reminiscing about some of the things that we had to do just to get the radio station functional. To even sound like we were a radio station. The funky phone xylophone, yes, we'll reminisce about that a little bit. It was a little device that we stuck to an earpiece on a telephone so we could get callers on the air. Now you got professional hybrids and everything. Where people get all this money from? But I'll tell you, some of the best times I had at RIC was definitely in this building, and you know. There were a lot of landmark firsts, I think, when we were all here. The first, of course, being WELH, signing on to WELH. I remember that day. It was myself and Brad Lake, who now couldn't be here. He works and lives in Houston. But we were in the new WELH studio, and I believe it was maybe Dave Sciano, who was on the other end at Wheeler, holding a couple of wires together to make the whole thing work. And we finally got our connection, our main connection from this studio to the other studio, and that started the whole 88.1 era. And we had a lot of good times on that station. And I remember we did our first, what we called a remote broadcast, not via phone, actually via a very powerful cordless microphone. We were outside the Student Union building, and one of us on a microphone, and we touted all week that we were going to throw a groundhog off of the top of the Student Union building for Groundhog Day. And we had a bunch of people up in arms about that, and a big controversy. You can't throw a groundhog, God forbid, you hurt an animal. But we did. We threw the groundhog off the top of the Student Union building, and then people realized it was one of those sausages. It was ground hog. We worked with what we had. But anyway, it's great seeing a lot of you. I mean, this place has been a factory of personalities. We've had a lot of professional people come out of this small radio station, and everyone here in this room is here for one reason, and it's because we all share a passion for radio. And we've all had it. Some of us still have it in our careers. Some of us, it's in our hearts. But the bottom line is we're all here because we not only love the station, but we love the industry, and hopefully we always will. And congratulations to the newer administration, I should say. You guys have done a fantastic job. I hope I can speak for everyone in the room when I say that you've made all of us proud. And every bit of work that we've all put in throughout the years, you guys just took it to the next level. And keep up the good work. All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ben Mazzini. If we ever get in trouble, need a lawyer, are we good with him?
Mike Monte Carlo, I did go to law school, so I know your parents wanted me to. But your brother works for the AG?
No.
Your cousin?
No.
No, Craig. Who's Craig?
He just has a famous last name, that's it.
That's it, he looks like you. Well, if you ever meet him,
Thanks, Ben. Of course, you all care deeply about Rhode Island College Radio, as all of us do. And if you do, certainly we want you to fill out this form on the table in the back before you leave here tonight, an Alumni Association interest form. What we're trying to do is form a Rhode Island College Radio Alumni Association that will be a permanent fixture to keep our alumni connected, to bring in our new alumni and graduate from this college every year, and also to plan events like this in the future. And who knows, maybe give out a scholarship, something like that down the road to aspiring disc jockeys at wxin. So that's something we want to do, and if you haven't yet, please, before you leave here tonight, consider filling out that form so we can get in touch with you and hopefully get that organization off the ground. That way the radio station doesn't have to plan these events in the future, and maybe we can all go to those. This is a reunion, and it's not the first time that Rhode Island College Radio has a reunion, but a while back they helped sponsor a pre-reunion reunion in 1983, looking to get a bunch of people to go down, I think it was to the Rathskeller, to see what they thought they would look like in 2003. So if you thought you could be married in 2003, bring your wedding ring. If you think you're going to be bald in 2003, show up bald. This was in 1983. We got that commercial somewhere on our record library archives.
On Monday, May 23rd, the class of 1983 presents a pre-reunion reunion to be held in the Rathskeller from noon to 6 p.m. Music will be provided by alternate plans outside the rack and by a disc jockey inside the rack. The theme of the reunion will be to come as you think you'll here in 20 years. There'll be drink specials, hamburgers, and beer as the class of 1983 presents a pre-reunion reunion in the Rathskeller from 12 noon to 6 p.m. with music by alternate plan. It's all part of the class of 1983's Senior Week.
Well, we may have all the new equipment that Ben was talking about, but one thing we don't have is the Rathskeller. I kind of so wish we do. WXN was also part of another regular series, the Thursday night series. Hila?
Hi, my name's Karen Riando. I'm assistant manager of the Rhode Island College Coffee House. And when I
library and the photocopy room when I'm not photocopying. I listen to WXIN. Hi, I'm Carrie Connerton, and I'm front desk assistant at Willard Hall. I'm listening to WXIN.
Hi, this is Jan Hewitt, Director of Student Activities, and whenever I'm in the residence halls, which is as infrequently as possible, I listen to WXIN. Sometimes I even hear it in Donovan Center. It's loud, it's good, it's Rick Radio.
Hi, I'm Jen Cole, the entertainment editor of The Anchor, your student publication. We here at The Anchor just love WXIN and everyone that has anything to do with it.
My name is Sylvia Satlow. I'm a vendor and I sell jewelry at the Student Union, and I'm listening to WXIN.
Hi, I'm Jim Legend, president of the student body. Whenever we go into executive session, we kick back and listen to WXIN.
Hi, I'm Bob McCready, and I listen to WXIN every day. Hi, I'm Carl. I run the coffee house, and whether people want to listen to it or not, I put on WXIN because I'm the boss.
I recognize some of the voices there, including Congressman James Langevin, who was president of the student body here, Rick. I was too. That was about 3-4 years ago. I'm going to graduate this year. I started introducing the Thursday night series. I did it out of order. Elif, you can play that one now.
X58, WXIN is doing more to keep you bobbing than anyone. Don't miss the Thursday night series every Thursday night in the Student Union Ballroom as Rick Programming presents the best in live entertainment. But that's not all, as WXIN jocks take over when the band sits down, bringing you the best new music guaranteed to keep you moving. So join us each Thursday night for the Thursday night series and catch your favorite WXIN jock in action. From the station that believes it's not how big you are, it's how you use it. X58, WXIN.
Right back in the Student Union Ballroom after all these years. Our next speaker is Al Gomes, Rhode Island College alumni, part of WXIN from 1980 to 1982. All right, he's the founder and owner of Big Noise. Al Gomes, come on up. Hey, look at the great spaces out there. It's great. This was one of the proudest things I ever did in my life, was be part of the station, and some of the craziest things I ever saw ever in my life too. It's like really, really great. But I spoke in Phil Palumbo's class a couple weeks ago for about 2 hours, and I acknowledged the station as being an important part of my life. And the coolest thing about the station is when you got here, you did become a DJ and stuff, but you were encouraged to sort of find your own place. And one of the things I did was, I was also the entertainment editor of The Anchor. So I combined that job with, The Anchor's great. You can give him a hand. Anchor's awesome. So one of the things I did was I combined that job with WRIC, and I was interviewing some bands and putting the interviews on the air. I got to hang out with the Police, who played in the gym, the Ramones. I mean, it was just an amazing place, and you were encouraged to sort of be yourself. Once you got the dynamics of the station down, be yourself, and it was the seeds of everything I do with my life now. And it started with this amazing building up there, that hallway up there, and I encourage the students in Phil's class. I said, just find your way, get involved, and to be part of the Media Center here at RIP, because it's an amazing place to just find your way, and a lot of people in this room are still doing what they did when they came to the station. So if you don't mind, I'd like to acknowledge some people who right at the beginning made all this possible, and I'd love them to stand up and be acknowledged. Jerry Audette. Jerry, I want to say a few words. Jerry was the way I remember Jerry, and I haven't seen him since you graduated in 1980, and I said, you know, you were our dad. I mean, you were like, you know, I just remember us just like kids running around in circles and say, whoa, everybody just calm down. You know, get off the sugar for a couple of seconds. But he was just like one of these guys. He just kind of pulled everything together. But I want to acknowledge more people. Jerry Audette, Dave Sapaka, everybody would stand. Jerry, you stand up with me. Steve Del Pico. Jeff Flowers. And I wanted to say a mention thank you to Gary Penfield, who was so encouraging. He was a great man. I mean, these are the guys who believed, and if you talk to them, all they talked about 24/7, that this was going to happen. And, you know, they were so inspiring because if you came in as a young student, it's like, what are these guys up to? What are these guys up to? They started as a radio club and sitting around a table, and they were just so determined. I remember carrying the boxes of equipment up the stairs and saying, this is really happening. And it was so exciting. But those are the people, if we could just have one more round of applause for them, because they were so amazing. And I also want a round of applause for the guys who are doing it now, because like last week you said, Ben, you said, you know, I want to acknowledge the people because they have really taken this to a whole other place. So for the current staff, you guys are awesome. I just want to thank Rhode Island College again because everything that I want to do with my life, I just found it here, and all the seeds are here. And for the students that are here at the station, just find the best thing about the station, run with it, be yourself, and you might end up like doing this for the rest of your life because that's what happened to me. So thank you so much. Thank you very much, Al. If you don't know him, he's sitting up in the front row here. You already got a little bit of an introduction here tonight. But just in case you don't know him, we want to remind you just who he is.
Just when you thought it was safe to turn the radio back on. I didn't do it. Don't look at me. Monday and Friday mornings, 8 to 10. The nightmare never ends on a new 90.7 FM.
Honest Jim.
Just when you thought it was safe.
WXIN, particularly in the first few years, wasn't able to broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We said had to sign off too at a certain point of the night. Elo?
You've been listening to WRIC 580 AM, operating on a carrier current AM frequency of 580 kilohertz with an output of 20 watts. As usual, we invite your comments and criticisms about our programming, and we invite any suggestions that you may have. We now send you over to 107 WAAF Worcester. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. with the best rock and roll in Providence. So until then, WRIC wishes you a pleasant good night.
And going through all of our old station archives, preparing for this event, we also found this old station ID.
Music as it happens. X58, WXIN, Providence.
Michael J. Gonzalez, Dr. Mental, or the Doctor, as you know, died in the station nightclub fire. He's a WXIN alumni, longtime DJ at WHJY. He's also a brother of Kappa Delta Phi fraternity. And WXIN also co-sponsors some events with Kappa Delta Phi back in the day.
The Brothers of Kappa Delta Phi present the second annual tribute to the Wednesday night series, Beach Party 1983. Beach Party 83, Wednesday, March 16th from 9 to 1 in the Student Union Ballroom. $3 with the Rick ID and 5 without. Beach Party 83, featuring the Backbeats, DJs Dan and Bob and the Rat, a Best Beaches Hire contest, learn how to windsurf, meet Zodiac the Robot, a raffle, giveaways, and more. That's Kappa Delta Phi's second annual tribute to the Wednesday night series, Beach Party 83, Wednesday, March 16th in the Student Union Ballroom. $3 for the Rick ID and 5 without. Be there. Aloha.
Our last speaker for this evening is also a brother of Kappa Delta Phi, and a longtime friend of Michael Gonzalez. Please join me in welcoming Tom Carr, a member of the Rhode Island College alumni.
You know, I was there that 1983 when he was doing that, and I don't remember who that was, and those brain cells are probably long gone. You know what, Nick? Don't go too far. I've got something for you. I figured I should dig into Mike's stuff and return some of the stuff to the record library that I knew that he had. You know, it's got the lettering on it. I know it's wxin. Actually, it was WRIC at the time. And I know this for a fact because you could take those three. I know Mike Gonzalez never paid a dime for the Little River Band. That one's yours. You can put it with Mike's Barry Manilow record. All right, I have notes and I have to put these stupid glasses on. All right. It's true, Mike was here until 1986. I think we had gone to WXIN by then. He graduated in '86. I was a little longer, trying to get my degree. We lived together his senior year, and by that time I think he had just started at WHJY as well, and he used to get demos sent to the house. Vinyl, Mike, again, with the vinyl, throw away what we got. And he would come home at night, put the record on the turntable, and start listening to it. Most songs got 30 seconds, some got a minute, some actually got played to the very end. But most, like I said, got the 30 seconds. Mike would rip them off the turntable, take it, and throw it against the wall. He called it smashing records, and that was how he rated records when we were living together. And just so everyone knows, we never got our security deposit back because of all the cuts in the walls. It's funny, Mike is known for his rock and roll DJ, and he was fantastic at it. He lived the life that he really wanted to live. But inside, I think a lot of his fraternity brothers, a lot of people who knew him, knew that he was really a sports guy at heart. He loved sports. Some of the funniest recordings I've ever heard are some of the bootleg tapes that Mike did of the what was it, hockey games down in the Walsh Center. And the names, everybody had a nickname. I probably shouldn't repeat any of them. I see people shaking their heads. I'll just let that one go. And it's too bad Mike never got to see the Boston Red Sox win the World Series. I think he had something to do with it, though. There's no doubt about it. But as for him being a football fan, he's a Cowboy fan. I guess the guy upstairs just hates the Cowboys. Let's see, what else we got? Mike was great with kids too. He wasn't just the rock and roll disc jockey that everybody knew. He put out that persona. That was his public persona. Mike also had the guy underneath that the people who knew him best knew him to be very great. He was great with my kids. Another friend of ours, Artie Taft, over at Channel 10. He was great with Artie's kids, and it was amazing. He didn't forget birthdays. He'd show up on Christmas Day with toys. He loved my kids, and my kids loved him more than anything. And it's nice to know that now, I don't know, I guess it's public knowledge now that Mike, we found out about 2 years ago that Mike actually fathered a daughter, and she's living in New Mexico, and hopefully at some point maybe she'll come east and come to Rhode Island College and make it her school. She's got another year to go though, so I'm still trying to convince her of that. Mike was a very generous guy. A lot of people would say that he was generous to a fault, especially to his friends. And I don't want to encourage the DJs of today, but there were many times that Mike would call my house, or actually call my cell early in the morning and say, "Hey buddy, you won tickets to a Celtics game last night." And I'd say, "I didn't know I ever called." So he was very good at the people who were the recipients of Mike's calls early in the morning got that. It was a slow roller. So in that vein, I have one story I need to tell that just goes to prove that Mike is still with us in strange and mysterious ways. Last year, WHJY, some of Mike's colleagues are here tonight, was running a contest at the Foxy Lady where Mike used to work.
Legs and eggs.
Yeah, I was a regular, as were so many people in the crowd who shall remain nameless right now. So I went down when they were running a contest. It was an amateur night, and they needed a judge. And everybody got one ticket when they walked in the door. And I actually made an email, again, the name will remain nameless, and said, "I want this fixed. I want to be the judge." And they said, no, no, we're on the up and up, we're on the up and up, we can't do that. I said, do you know how many things Mike fixed for me at the Fox Lady? And they were like, no, we're gonna do this for real. So I actually went in, it took about an hour or so before they decided to run the contest. And they stopped calling the numbers. And I had talked to the guys beforehand and said, you know, fix it, fix it, fix it. They were like, no, they still wouldn't do it. So Steve Scarpetti, who was there that night, starts calling the numbers out. And first three numbers, you know, everybody's with the first three numbers. Then they start calling the next three numbers, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then finally the last number comes up, and I'm, yeah! And Steve Scarpetti looks at me, and he's like, no way, no way. He's looking for the real winner. And I'm walking towards the stage, and you can see the deer in the headlights. And he's like, oh my God, what do I do? So I walk up on stage, and he does the, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, Tom. And he goes, where are you from? And I say, Cranston. He goes, Tom from Cranston, you're our winner. And then, like, we actually sat on stage and judged the contest. About 5 minutes into the contest, he says to me, he looks over at me, and I go, he influenced this. This is how it went. So anyway, Mike was a big part of wxin. When I was here, he was on the radio all the time. It was funny, it was WRIC back then. Lots of times, the only place you could hear WRIC was in this building. So we used to put him on down to the Rat, and you know, as Ben said, there was plenty of talent that came out of this place, especially early on. You know, Mike Montecarlo, Mike, Johnny Petro, some other people, and you know, they all come back. They all let them know. They all let people know where they came from. You know, Mike's here tonight. Gonzo would have been here tonight if he was still around. You know, he'd be here. He'd be letting people know. He'd be regaling you with stories that I can't even tell. But like I said, he would be here tonight. I'm sorry, it's not the old Misty. That's what happens when I start talking about him. But anyway, as Nick said, I'm part of the Alumni Association. I'm glad to see so many people back. A lot of guys that I invited tonight don't see them up for a lot, but you know, this is the kind of thing. A lot of them worked here, so I'm just glad everybody showed up. This was a great time, and I want to thank everybody. And I hope that we all do this again, not just once a year, but maybe a couple times a year. And let's get it done, and you know, let's run it forever. We had a great time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Metal's Metal Murder, only on X58 WXIN. Get ready.
This is Dr. Metal, and every Thursday from 1 to 3, get ready for my metal show. The loudest and proudest show this side of Ozzy Osbourne. So tune in to me, Dr. Metal, every Thursday only here at X58 WXIN.
If you like, you're all welcome to join us down in the Rhode Island College Radio broadcast studio. Take a tour of the entire media center right after the conclusion of this event up here. You can also grab some more food too. And we're going to be unveiling a plaque on the record library door in honor of Michael J. Gonsalves. So we'll be doing that in just a few minutes downstairs in the media center. If you haven't been down there yet, our staff's going to show you the way down to the new media center. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Like Tom just said, hopefully we can do this more often and maybe make it an annual or maybe more than once a year event in the future. I'd love to see you all back again. I'd love to be part of something like this again, as eventually I become an alumni. I'm sure, as does everyone else who's part of the story. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Thank you all for joining us here on stage and coming back and making this a very successful event. And we'll see you downstairs, hopefully, in just a couple of minutes. And afterwards, a lot of us going out to what's currently WXIN's bar, The Abbey, on Admiral Street in Providence. You're certainly welcome to join us there, too. But hopefully we'll see you downstairs in the meeting center in just a few minutes. We can show you the entire Rhode Island College radio studio and see what we're all about today. Thank you all for coming once again.
After you. Hey, no, you're gonna help me pull this down too, right? Yeah. Please. You. Okay.
All right.
On 3. Okay, I guess I'll count. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
There it goes.
Oh my God. Sweet.
Pop it open. Yeah, and all the hard work that we did for the past, what, week? I lost count after day 1 anyway, but this is
I can't remember how many records we got. I lost count after 2.
We have 10,000.
I want to know.
There is actually vinyl in here. It's astounding.
It's all vinyl, so feel free to come by and take a look.
707. Give me the freaking records. I'll do it now.
Hey, Chris, they need to be labeled. They need to be labeled.
They are labeled.
There you go.
Got the metal label them.
Oh my God.
It's actually pretty cool.
Actually, go take a look at that.
That beats my
Oh yeah, they're all
That's funny with the album.
I actually have a ton of boxes in my basement.
Nice to see you again.
It's definitely a metal tone record.
That is wild, isn't it? This is totally.
I started laughing at all the names of those people. It's like, God, talk about dating, huh?
Big time.
Ranking on it. All right.
Really? Oh my God, great job, guys.
About everything. Got ready for this.
Oh yeah, it's really awesome.
Or used to anyway.
Just let it in.
So you're right, I mean, this stuff doesn't stick around. It was all old.
That's what I had to laugh with. 2 of those are the original ones, because I remember our labels that I used to make on the big ones with the 3 letters.
Nice.